Andrew Ross, socialmedia.net, here with the chairman of CARAS, Mr. Ed Robinson.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Great. We've had a pretty successful morning with our press conference, so pretty happy. Yeah,
it was great. You had Keisha Shante, some members of the Broken Social Scene announcing
and
nominees.
Johnny Reed. Yeah, it was great because it is a day that's all about the artists and the nominations. So it's great to have as many artists as we did in the room. So they're here to hear whether they made it on the list or not, and most of them that were here did, so that's great.
The Junos are a great event, and this is going to be your second year as
chairman. Yep, that's correct. Yep.
And what was that like for you last year, Junos being in St. John's, Newfoundland?
Well, I love St. John's, number one, so it was a great time to be there. It was a challenging year because of fog's not letting planes in, people have to reschedule their flights, then the volcanic ash happening. I mean, there are a lot of elements at play.
Logistic nightmare, I guess.
Yeah, but it turned out fine. I mean, almost everyone made it one way or the other. And, everyone rallied together. It was great. I mean, it's a great, great city, and happy to be there.
Yeah, you know what? I fell in love with St. John's, and George Street, the craziest little street in Canada.
It's a national treasure. People have to hit George Street at some time in their life.
You have
it's
to.
a good spot.
Yeah. And one thing I noticed was right after the Junos, everybody wanted to skeet out a little there because they thought they were going to be stuck there for another week with the volcano ash.
Yes, exactly. Well, the word was, as the show ended, you'll be stuck for 3 days if you don't get out. So there was a bit of panic, but it didn't turn out that way anyway. It was like maybe one day.
Yeah, I stayed there actually for another 3 days anyway to soak up a little bit of St. John's.
Perfect. That was smart, actually.
It was good. I went and saw Signal Hill and some of the famous
local
landmarks.
sites. Yeah.
St. John's is the oldest city in North America.
It is.
A lot of people don't know that.
And it's probably the friendliest city I've ever been to. I mean, the people of St. John's, of Newfoundland and Labrador, are amazing. Like, amazing. Yeah.
Great city, great people. And now we have the Junos in Toronto this year, which it's full circle because the first Junos were held in Toronto.
Right. They were held at the St.
Lawrence
Hall. The founders of the Gold Leaf Awards, who were Walt Grealis and Stan Cleese, I think their mothers made sandwiches to hand out to people. Wasn't televised, was very low-key, but it began what is now, a major show that's broadcast nationally.
In Canada, the biggest broadcast Canadian award show.
Absolutely. And part of it is because Canadian music has been so successful, and Canadian artists are international stars now.
Per capita, Canada has more superstars than anywhere in the world.
I think so. I mean, I think it's true. I don't know if that's an actual fact, but it feels like it's right.
Per capita, because we have 30 million, a population of 30 million, and look at all the entertainers.
Oh, totally. I mean, I remember at one point, Shania Twain, Celine Dion, and Alanis Morissette sort of dominated women's records in, country, rock, and pop around the world. Yeah. And, and you've got Bryan Adams and Bare Naked Ladies and Michael Bublé, and there's so many great artists that are now international
David
stars.
Foster,
Drake now is
the list goes on and on.
Yeah,
right.
Totally.
So, do you know how many Junos have actually been given out over the years?
I think actual statuettes has been
40 per year, really.
Yeah, but I was at an event a while ago, so we had to change the statue this year. So the statue is new this year, and we were talking about how many had been presented of the old statue, and it was like 2,200. But that would be covering like a 10-year period. So it's got to be probably 4,000 easily. Yeah.
It's a coveted award, and only people who are at the top of their game win these awards. They're voted in and voted by members of the industry.
Well, it's
I was actually a judge last year for Video of the Year category.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, we try to change the juries every year so that people don't sit on the same jury, so that there's a newness to it all, the process, and it's a big job, and we feel really good about the juries every year that have made the selections, and we're happy with the results today.
Let me ask you, so you're working hand in hand, obviously, with Insight Productions.
Yep.
And, John Brennan, he's, one of the executive producers of the show. You guys always put on, he always puts on a great show, and you guys, now for your second year, what are you bringing to the table now? And you also have a background in television.
Right, I worked at CTV, yep. Well, each year for the Juno Awards, what we've tried to do is reflect the place where we are. So, as we travel the country for the last 10 years, we've tried to make sure that there are elements that reflect which city that we are in. So Toronto, we haven't been here for 10 years. There are iconic images of Toronto. There's music roots in Toronto that are significant to to the rest of the country. And
Tower, Skydome.
well, you know, starting on Yorkville Avenue, where Joni Mitchell and Neil Young played at the beginning of their careers, you know, the Horseshoe Tavern, exactly, all of those spots.
Stones the Emma Combo.
Exactly. It really has a history that is special. So we're trying to pick elements of that. I mean, it's not in any way, you know, trying to be Toronto-centered. It's just trying to celebrate the fact that there's a lot of musical roots that are coming to Toronto that have now taken the country and indeed the world. So it's again respecting where we are and trying to incorporate elements of where we are into the show, in both graphics and in the design of the set and in different things like that, so that it's not literal, but it's sort of, you know, suggested as to where we are and why we are. And this year with the 40th, what we've really tried to do is to salute the 40 years. So there'll be iconic performers from the past and obviously present performers, and we're trying to mix it all together so that it has a real blend of the celebration of 40 years.
Yeah, tell me about the 40th anniversary book. Actually, a good friend of mine, Barry Roden, is one of the photographers whose photos are featured in the book.
Yeah.
And I've seen it. It's a great book.
It's fun.
You should go and pick up a copy.
It's really, really fun. It's
like, tell me about the book, like putting the book together. And
well, it was you know, a bit of a challenge, but we have 4 writers, each chose a decade, and it's got tons of photographs in it of reflection of the 40 years, anecdotes from artists across the 40 years. It's really a fun read. It's very relaxed. It's very casual. It's not a you know, biography of 40 years of Juno Awards. It's really a celebration of the 40 years of Juno Awards with artists and comments from them backstage, and it's really fun. Once you get into it, it's hard to put down. It's a really great book.
You're done.
Yeah.
So before we go, do we have any surprises that we can expect?
Well, there's always surprises, but if I told you,
if you told me, you'd have to kill me.
No surprise, and I'd have to kill you. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, sir. Very nice talking to you. All the best, and I look forward to the Junos on the 27th of March.
Absolutely.
On CTV.
You got it.
Cool.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Cool.